Siblings falsely accuse roommate of smoking. Too much. Judge Eva reveals the truth. Courtroom drama. The beginning of the courtroom drama. In a busy city in the United States, 3 siblings, Ryan, Lily, and Mark, shared an apartment with their roommate, Donal. At first, everyone got along well. But over time, the siblings became upset because they claimed Donal smoked inside the apartment every day. They said the smoke filled the rooms, ruined the furniture, and made it difficult for them to breathe. Donal denied their accusations. He insisted that he never smoked inside the apartment and believed the siblings were trying to force him to move out so they could have the apartment to themselves. After several heated arguments, the dispute became so serious that they decided to take the matter to court. The case was assigned to Judge Eva, a respected judge known for listening carefully before making any decision. The courtroom was filled with people waiting to hear the truth. Judge Eva looked at everyone and said, "This court is here to find the facts, not to take sides. Everyone will have a fair chance to speak." The first person called to the witness stand was Donal. Lawyer Emma stood up, smiled politely, and said, "Donal, please tell the court exactly what happened from the beginning." Donal took a deep breath, raised his right hand to swear to tell the truth, and began his testimony. Donal's testimony. Donal looked at Judge Eva and began speaking calmly. "Your Honor, I moved into that apartment 6 months ago. In the beginning, the 3 siblings and I had no problems. We shared the rent, cleaned the apartment, and respected each other's space." Lawyer Emma nodded and asked, "When did the problems begin?" Donal replied, "Everything changed after they invited their friends over almost every weekend. Their guests often smoked on the apartment balcony. The smell drifted inside whenever the windows were open. Later, the siblings started blaming me for the smoke." Emma asked, "Did you ever smoke inside the apartment?" "No," Donal answered firmly. "I don't smoke indoors. I even asked them several times to keep the balcony door closed when their friends were outside, but they ignored my requests." The courtroom became quiet. Donal continued, "A few weeks later, they told the landlord that I was the one causing the smoke. Soon after that, they demanded that I move out. When I refused because I had done nothing wrong, they filed this case." Judge Eva listened carefully and wrote several notes. Lawyer Emma then turned toward the siblings. "If Donal is telling the truth," she said, "then someone else may be responsible for the smoke. We will examine the evidence and hear every witness before reaching any conclusion." Judge Eva nodded. The court will now hear the siblings' side of the story. The siblings face cross-examination. Judge Eva called the 3 siblings to the witness stand one by one. They repeated their claim that Donal had been smoking too much and that the apartment often smelled of cigarette smoke. Lawyer Emma stepped forward with a folder of evidence. "Emma, you told the court that Donal smoked inside the apartment every day. Do you have any photos or videos showing him smoking indoors?" The siblings looked at each other before answering. Ryan: "No, we don't have any pictures." Emma: "Did anyone actually see Donal smoking inside the apartment?" After a long pause, Lily quietly admitted, "We never saw him smoking inside. We only smelled smoke." Emma then presented apartment security records and the building manager's report. "According to the records, several visitors came to your apartment almost every weekend. The building manager also received complaints about cigarette smoke coming from your balcony during those visits." The courtroom began whispering. Emma continued, "Isn't it true that your friends often smoked on the balcony while the apartment windows were open?" The siblings hesitated. Finally, Mark lowered his head. "Yes, our friends did smoke on the balcony." Judge Eva leaned forward. "So you cannot prove that Donal smoked inside the apartment, but you admit that your own guests regularly smoked outside your balcony?" The siblings quietly answered, "Yes, Your Honor." Judge Eva looked toward Donal and then back at the siblings. "The court has heard important new facts. I will review all the evidence before announcing my final decision." Judge Eva delivers the final verdict. The courtroom fell silent as Judge Eva reviewed the evidence one last time. After a few moments, she looked up and addressed everyone. "This court has carefully listened to every statement and examined the evidence. The siblings accused Donal of smoking inside the apartment, but they failed to provide any proof. During cross-examination, they admitted that their own guests regularly smoked on the balcony, which could have caused the smoke to enter the apartment." Judge Eva paused before continuing. "A court cannot make a decision based on assumptions. It must rely on facts and credible evidence. In this case, the evidence does not prove that Donal violated the apartment rules." The courtroom remained quiet as everyone waited for the final ruling. Judge Eva declared, "Therefore, this court finds Donal not responsible for the allegations. The claims against him are dismissed. She then turned to the siblings. If disagreements arise in the future, they should be resolved through honest communication, not by making accusations without proof. Respect among roommates is essential. Lawyer Emma smiled at Donal. Justice has been served today. The truth always matters more than assumptions. Donal thanked Judge Eva and Emma for giving him a fair chance to tell his side of the story. As he walked out of the courtroom, he felt relieved that the truth had finally been heard. Always seek the truth before making accusations. Justice depends on evidence, fairness, and honesty.